When this game launched, I refunded it. Chaosbane was one of the worst PC ports and ARPGs I played at the time in 2019. It didn't even have graphics options. None. Now, 4 years later, this game was on sale for €3. That is cheaper than a Dutch beer. Let's see if this can hold my attention longer than your average beer, shall we? Hey everyone, Thyworm here, and welcome to another episode in the Why This Game in 2023 May Surprise You series, where I'm playing older games today to see how they hold up. This video I have Warhammer Chaosbane, released in May 2019, developed by Eco Software, published by Nason or Nacon. And let me tell you right out of the gates, this game is pretty fun these days. It's got a decent campaign, combat comparable to that other Warhammer ARPG, Inquisitor Martyr. It definitely nails the ambience, and it's got a sizable endgame that will entertain you for a couple of dozen hours. And after that you'll probably never play this game again. But that's fine, right? I can enjoy an ARPG like this one for 20 to 25 hours and then just put it away, especially for €3. So that's the summary, let's dive into the details. Options are up first, and who would have thought the devs actually added graphics options to a PC game? Most of what you would expect is here. I don't have much to say about it. I will say that in my opinion the game looks fine for a game from 2019. It's not beautiful, but it ain't ugly either, and the art style works well with the Warhammer world. Second, let me tell you how I have played and approached this game. I mainly played on one character. If you feel a reviewer should play all classes, I understand. Please go find a reviewer who did that in 2023. I'll see you back soon. For everyone else, I've played mostly one class, like I said. I had a good time with that class, and my review is primarily focused on the game's mechanics, not so much on the classes. As a result, however, I've grinded it out on that specific character. I have a good idea about the campaign as well as the endgame, and I feel I can provide insight in what Chaosbane offers. That being said, I'll give you a quick rundown of the classes. There's an Empire Soldier with sword and board, a High Elf Mage using, of course, magic, a Dwarven Slayer wielding dual axes, a Wood Elf Scout with a bow, and then the class that I played, a Dwarven Engineer using both pistols and melee abilities with a massive two-handed hammer. If you purchase a DLC, you can also pick a Witch Hunter. The way these classes work in general is that you have generator skills, abilities that generate resources, and then you have spender skills that do most of your damage, very much like Diablo 4 designs its classes. If you're not a fan of that, beware, I suppose. I thought it was fine personally, because just like in Diablo 4, you will get to a point where you hardly need the generator skills anymore. It is part of the progression of your build, and for the Dwarf Engineer this worked really well. Talking about builds, not unimportant in an ARPG, you do have quite a bit of variety in Chaosbane. Plenty of stuff to tweak, I would say. When you level, you get access to more and more skills, both active and passive. You also gain points to spend on those skills, with more powerful versions of skills costing more points. The points you get are limited, so you need to make some choices there. You don't only unlock skills from leveling, however, you also gain skills from trading with the Collector's Guild, from doing endgame activities, and from the God skill tree. The latter is a skill tree for which you also get points as you level, and by allocating those points you unlock passive bonuses, passive skills, and some active skills as well. After level 50, the max level, your character keeps leveling their legendary rank, which works similarly to Paragon in Diablo, and by doing that you can gain more passive skills even. I'm currently legendary rank 106. I don't know where and if this ends, but it does mean your character gets stronger and stronger the more you play. On a side note, swapping builds is easy because the game offers 4 loadouts. I wish more ARPGs did this. Clearly, you have loot as well, gear, items, the good stuff. Chaosbane has various colors to indicate the rarity of gear. It starts with white, then blue, yellow, red, and finally the best gear is green. Red and green gear, as far as I know, have no name, like legendary or unique gear. It just has a color. And interestingly, red and green gear also have set pieces. And if you equip all 5 of a set, you can use certain skills for free without having to spend the skill points, opening up the builds once more. I am wearing such a set, allowing me to use the mortar skill for free and spend the 15 points on something else, essentially giving me an extra skill in my build. That's pretty useful. So in terms of builds, there's plenty of variety, and for the playtime this game offers, you should be completely fine here. Then, the other big part of an ARPG, content. What does Chaosbane have to offer? And once again guys, the game doesn't disappoint. Just because I'm arguing the game offers 20 to 30 hours of good fun, it doesn't mean there's little to do. Quite the opposite, I would say. So first of all, there's a campaign. The campaign is fine in a narrative sense, I suppose. More so, it's well paced and well balanced. Once I completed the campaign, I was level 47, only 3 levels away from max level. That's impressive and causes a smooth transition into endgame, which is the next topic. Endgame offers plenty of activities, honestly. You can do an expedition, which is just a random endgame map. You might start out doing a few of these to get a little bit of gear. Then there is the boss rush, where you replay a campaign boss. These have a chance to drop a special item, which triples the loot of the next endgame activity, called Relic Hunt. In this mode, you play a standard map with a big treasure chest at the end, and you can add a bunch of map affixes. The more difficult the affixes, the better loot you get. And if you use that item from boss rush, you don't get 1 treasure chest, but 3. Relic hunts are the main way to upgrade your character's gear, I found, because of the loot rarity. Then there's the Tower of Chaos mode, where you ascend floors in a tower. This is basically an endless mode, where after each floor you have a choice to take the reward or progress to the next floor. This mode gets harder with each completed floor and is basically endless until you die or pick the reward. If you die, you lose everything, so this is high risk, high reward. And then the final, real, ultimate endgame is called Invasion. Invasion has its own progression and map with levels. Within Invasion, you take corruption damage in each map, which is damage over time, probably from the Chaos realm. This will simply kill you at level 50, so you need to do a bit of other endgame and then get geared up to even stand a chance in this mode. As soon as you do though, you can path towards nodes that provide corruption resistance, allowing you to take on the more difficult nodes in the invasion. The levels in here skill up quite hard, so in order to take down the whole thing you need a very well-rounded character. I've almost completed the entire invasion, as you can see, but the last parts are really difficult. All in all though, you have a lot of endgame options here, and each of the options has a clear purpose. On top of all of this, you can set the difficulty in the main menu, and you can make the enemies and loot scale to crazy numbers. Think about games like Chronicon, which offer a similar feature. If there's one criticism, it's the maps themselves. There are only a few maps available in terms of layout, and there isn't much randomization. This is true for the campaign as well as endgame, meaning you're typically completing the same maps over and over again. This is also a reason, in my opinion, why the game time is limited. But to be fair, for the 20 to 30 hours I'm advocating you should play this game, the similar maps aren't a huge issue. Should you play much longer, however, than that, which I don't recommend per se, this will start getting annoying at some point. Another criticism in the same vein is the variety of the missions. The whole campaign is basically some random dude either getting corrupted or requiring rescue. And usually after that he still gets corrupted. There's not a whole lot of creativity in the writing or mission structure, but that doesn't bother me in a hack and slash ARPG as long as the combat and progression is there, which it definitely is. On the plus side, a highlight in the campaign and endgame are the bosses, which are fun to do and well designed. Especially in the campaign they are challenging because you don't have much gear yet. At some point in the endgame they become trivial. Some random things about Chaosbane I do want to highlight in this review. 1. You have a massive inventory space. Once again, something I wish more ARPGs have. 2. I like how zoomed out the game is from your character. It gives you a great overview of the battlefield. I wasn't able to get this game running on my second monitor in either 21:9 or even 32:9, and I don't think that is supported. The game also isn't Steam Deck compatible because it probably hasn't been updated in years and the Steam Deck is quite new. 3. There's a transmog system, which is cool. And 4, the final point, for some reason, Chapter 5 in the campaign is a DLC. I only bought the base game, and that is Chapter 1 to 4 and Chapter 6. I have no clue why, but there it is. I didn't want to buy Chapter 5 because it wasn't on sale anymore once I figured out I missed a chapter. And Chapter 5 was 10 bucks, more than 3 times what I paid for the base game. Didn't feel good, so there you go, didn't play Chapter 5. Let's draw a conclusion. I said this already, but for 90% off, purchasing a game cheaper than a beer, you simply can't go wrong here. It's not just great value in terms of money, it's also a fun time in terms of hours. This game was really bad at launch, but I'm happy the devs fixed it probably years ago by now, and that it still holds up today. A definite recommend, taking into account what I said in the review. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have any more questions, please post them in the comments, I'll try to reply. Thanks for watching and making it to the end. Love you all, see you soon, bye.